All right, well, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. Happy fall start. My name is Jonathan Bernos. I'm the Customer Success Manager for the Southeast Mid-Atlantic area of Instructure and Canvas. And so I am making an August video. I'm a little behind, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to bring you an August update video, fall start, tips and tricks, get into the season, the spirit of the season, whatever you need kind of video, updated resources. There's going to be a lot in this video. I apologize that we haven't had an update in some time since InstructureCon, and before that we had the security incident, so we're getting everything back on track. We'll have monthly release videos beginning with August. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the information that I want you to know that could be helpful through fall start. I am going to actually take you first to our newsletter. If you're receiving this, you're watching this video, hopefully it's through the newsletter. This is our August newsletter fall start edition. We've got a little blurb in here just giving you an overview or a rundown on the Southeast/Mid-Atlantic area. Just a reminder, we have lots of schools in the area. I do service higher education: Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. A lot of schools in there. And it gives me a great opportunity to network, to bring references and examples to you if that can be helpful. So we also will have the video for this month. This is just an example video. I create these and place them on YouTube as references, so if they can be helpful for you in the video and in the email and newsletter in front of this portion of the newsletter, you'll have a timestamp, and the same as in YouTube, you'll have timestamped to the content in the video, so you can jump right to just particular areas of the release that you'd like to see, review. You can also cut those videos up and share them with faculty instructors. That is the audience of the video, so I do maintain that if it can be helpful. Below that, in this month's newsletter, we're also going to have different resources, a few that are going to point to fall start. We'll walk through some of those today in the video. And then even below that, I've also included a small section here of just tips and tricks for case escalation for 2026. So we're right about in the middle of fall start. Many of you have started this week. We had some institutions and schools that have began fall start in courses last week. Next week will be a very heavy week. This is Friday, August 21st when I'm making this video. So we're going into the last week of August. Typically that volume remains high. And so reminders, if you are reaching out, technical support, if it's functionality, something's not working properly, you definitely want to create a case with support first. I'm happy to help with that. Remember, my inbox is very full right now, and so I'm answering cases, or I'm answering emails as they come in. So there may be a delay to my response, and that delay may take you into next week or towards the end of the month. So if it is urgent, please label that in the email. Please message me and let me know if there is the kind of a summary around the urgency, but also just tips and tricks. On the cases themselves, I would recommend including in every single case when you submit it, just a brief scope. How many courses is the issue impacting? How many users are being affected by the impact or whatever the issue is? Is there a workaround that you've found? If not, what's the heavy lift, or what type of work is this creating for your teams or for you? Are there any impending timelines that we should be aware of in the case? And then also please include screenshots, screen recordings of the issue, direct links to the area of the issue themselves, error messages, status pages. Include all of that in the initial case creation. Submit that to support. You're welcome to copy me when you do submit it to support. If you're reaching out to me about a case that needs to be escalated, timeline's important, please do so after support has picked up that case. So if you've received a response from support, and we still need to escalate, please then reach out to me again through email, letting me know all of this information. If it's in the case, then you shouldn't have to, type it back out into an email. Just point me to the case number, and we can escalate from there. If you know that it needs to be an escalation as a field admin, if you have access to the console, the field admin console, please submit through the console. through either the live chat or through the phone support. That it would be the best way to prioritize and kind of bypass some of the waiting in line to your case. So emergencies, those definitely are the place to go for technical emergencies, cases, sys integration, any of those issues. Please direct them to support. So just a quick reminder. And also, don't forget, we have great fall resources in the Instructure community. We have within the documentation, the training portal in your instance. And then also, if you are not using PandaBot in the Instructure community, give it a try. It's a great tool. It will help pull information and documentation from the Canvas and Instructure community for you. So my contact information is there on the bottom of the page. Please feel free to reach out. Also, my calendar is there as well. You may actually have more luck getting time on my calendar and a call than you will for an immediate response through email. Like I said, I'm checking those as fast as I can. If I see that it's urgent through email subject line, I'll jump on those right away. If not, if it's questions, thank you for your patience. I'm working through those, and we'll get a reply out as soon as possible. So. Good. The newsletter is going to be there. Hopefully that'll be a helpful resource for you. This is fall start, so I am going to include some resources and tips and tricks this month here in the video. So we are, we're fully in here now. So I'm going to take you into the one real quick product update. Product blog was announced last week that definitely will pertain. We had an announcement from Zach Pendleton, who's our chief architect. A little bit different this year. We are putting a pause on all Canvas releases and deploys in the month of September. So we are going to recap the August release in this video today. The September release is paused. We have a little summary on why we're doing that this year. Again, all focus is on fall start. That's the main reason. We have a timeline below that, so you won't see any full Canvas releases or deploys until October. There is an exception here, marked, there's a little star here. Exception is we are pushing out a portfolio release in September. It is currently in beta as of this week. So if you would like to test, these are new features, about 7 new features that are being rolled out into the new portfolio tool, student portfolio. That is going to be replacing all of the legacy ePortfolio, legacy portfolio, folio tools that are out there. So those have an end of life in December. So you definitely want to get on this if you're using Portfolio actively now, or if there's a plan to implement, take a look at that particular release, which we'll also touch on today. So we are also, let's go ahead and jump into the release notes. Release notes, the one I want to review is the August 15th release, which just happened over the past weekend, if you're doing this on the 21st or sometime after. There were no new features in the August release. The 2 areas that I want to touch on, especially if you're moving into fall start of courses next week, just to be aware of, we had a notebook tool that was introduced last month and over the summer. We also introduced a customizable student dashboard. The notebook tool, it has been turned on by default in production. That was done last weekend. There's a summary here explaining that. You do have the ability to go in at the account level if you're a Canvas administrator and turn that off and make it available when you like, if you want to prolong that into production. But it is turned on. It's a smaller tool. It is siloed in the course. It's siloed for the student. There is a roadmap for it, but right now the features are very simple. It allows them to bookmark, take notes, highlight. And so, good tool overall. Also, the dashboard, customizable student dashboard that was released a few months ago. This has also been turned on by default. So your users, your students, and this does not apply to students with multiple roles. And so if you have students with TA roles, if you have students that also are instructor or faculty in some way, they will not see this update. That is coming in the future. We'll have a future update on the roadmap where dual roles will be able to toggle between views. Right now, it's only for students. Students going into a course for the very first time are going to see a new dashboard. If you look at the feature overview that's attached to the notes, there is a video here. Sorry for all the scrolling. In that video, you will see some examples of the new dashboard. If you haven't looked at it yourself, you should just be aware of that. We find that students are pretty savvy on updates and visual changes. We don't typically see a lot of questions coming from this. They are quick to adapt. Along the top, there is a toggle option where they can switch back to the old dashboard. And so if they have a preference for something they're already familiar with, they can of course move back to that. Or new dashboard actually really is a good experience. I'm experiencing that right now as an observer for my student in the school district that he's in. So I'm kind of getting firsthand experience with the widgets and personalizing, and I am a fan of those changes. So in the feature option, watch the video. I think it can be helpful to these notes just to keep you pulled into what's happening. Both of these features, again, just a reminder, you can turn them off at the account level if you do not want them to be available to your students just yet. Also, one last update here in the release over the weekend was the enforcement of native Canvas integration. I do want to highlight here and call attention. This is not a call out or deprecation or force to new quizzes, and classic quizzes is still there. You still have control over that timeline of how you implement new quizzes. We have many that are in between and still moving into new quizzes. So this is under the hood. We see lots of architecture integration changes that are taking place. Native Canvas integration. There's a blog post connected to this as well. It talks about really one of the biggest benefits is third-party integrations and proctoring solutions. So we should see vast improvements, though, with the conversion process from classic to new. If you'd like to have a conversation about new quizzes, we can schedule that on the calendar. I would love to get into more information and detail about your conversion process and what that looks like, where you're at in the process, enablement and training documentation, and all of that for your end users. So happy to do that at any time. Use the scheduler in my email signature and also the newsletter to get that on the calendar. Let's bounce into our next few updates. One of the big ones is we did come back from InstructureCon about 3 weeks ago, so I want to put this on your radar that we do have the InstructureCon sessions posted. So there's a link in the newsletter. We'll also I'll talk about this on calls as well, but there's tons of sessions here. We have lots of video recordings of the sessions from InstructureCon. There's now 117. If you filter this out for higher education sessions, if you're just looking for that, I believe about half of these sessions are going to be higher ed. So you can sort. You'll see there's a ton here. Yep, about 58. So when you go into the session, most of these are going to have videos. So again, if you see something interesting and you'd like to review that, please let me know. And if you have questions about any follow-up, I'm happy to kind of dig deeper into any of the topics that came up at the conference. So there's a ton of information here. We understand that it's probably not the priority right now during fall start, but again, during fall start, when things start to settle down, if you have questions that come from the video, if you see information you want to review, please let me know. I'm happy to do that as well. So those sessions are there. We also have an adjoining link that talks about the super sessions. Let's pull this up real quick. This is the super session that came from Louisville and the InstructureCon product keynotes. We broke that out into major Canvas updates. So if you're looking for anything in particular, this link will also take you and give you a high level on those areas. Also super helpful is on the top, we have the super session slides. So I would encourage you to take a look at the product slides. These are really just colorful bullet points on the roadmap and what to expect here in the fall and beyond. So most of these are going to be labeled if they're available currently in Canvas Core, or if they're also available in the tiers. So and also we have availability on most of these slides as well. So again, if you see high-level bullet point on particular functionality, please call it out, let me know, email me, schedule time, we can talk through it when it'll become available for you all. So this is a really helpful tool as well. So keep an eye on that, review it, and let me know if there are questions. Lastly, I want to touch on the collaborative roadmap that we also have linked into the newsletter. Just a reminder, this is a great place to check for upcoming features. One area that's attached to this that I definitely want to call out is within the Coming Soon in the Active Development tab. We have opportunities to co-create. If you're looking for early adopter programs that you'd like to be involved in, or if you'd just like to give feedback into the product owners of development topics connected to the roadmap, this is the place to go. Bookmark this page. We have about 44 different opportunities going right now. There's new ones every day. If you see topics on here that are interesting, analytics dashboard, for example, if I'd like to give information or feedback to the product owner, click on the link here at the bottom of the summary, or what you can expect. There is a caret. And if it's open, if it is open and you'd like to participate, click on the caret, and that will indicate that you would like information from the product owner or product team on that particular topic or opportunity. So that's a great little opportunity for Canvas Collaborative Roadmap to gather feedback that you can have influence over product development. So, all right, let's take it back to the release notes and talk about a couple other items here. We want to take a look at so I mentioned earlier, we do have a code pause that takes place in September. So we shouldn't see any larger Canvas releases or deploys in that month. Give us some time to review what we do have coming, which would be, we do have a release. It is tied to portfolio, technically Canvas release, but you'll notice new features. So we knew this was coming post InstructureCon. This is prep work into December, which is the end of life on the older portfolio tools. That's the legacy ePortfolio and the Folio tool being replaced by student portfolios. And so this would be good if you are actively using Portfolio, if you are in transition, preparing for the end of the year and the end of life on the older tools, then this would be a good release to take a look at. In the release, we have 7 new features rolling into Portfolio. Just to kind of skim these real quickly, we have the assignment import option. We also have, and there's lots of documentation and screenshots with this too, so please take the time to review this. If you have questions, hopefully by the time you come up with questions, I will have had time to test myself. So assignment snapshot for instructors and students. We also have the assignment sharing for students. We have the adding assignment submissions to projects, which is a student feature. We have shared content comments, both applying to instructors and students. We have embedded content, also for instructors and students. And finally, editing published portfolios. This is for the instructors. So not to go into detail on all of those notes, but just to kind of put it on the radar. And again, if you are an active portfolio user, love to have some conversations about it, gather feedback, but you do have some releases to take a look at. And then we are also previewing the October release. If you notice on the top of the release notes page, 1017 says potential to grow. So there may be releases added to this. So this is not the final, but just to kind of give you a real quick overview on this. What we're looking at here is a dashboard feature update. This is a reminder for courses and a backup reminder for courses and grades. We did talk about during the InstructureCon session, we talked about a snapshot or a backup contingency plan for Canvas. This is tied to some of those conversations, and this is a release that's going to be a prelude to some of those other releases in backing up data contingency plans. So continue to have these questions, but you'll notice that this is a great tool for the instructor. They do get a backup or an alert icon to display on the course card in the dashboard when the course grades and the content haven't been exported. So just showing them basically that there has not been a backup of the data in the number of days since the export or since the data move. So it might be a handy tool just to make you aware of. We also have on other updates, we have grades, the removal of a provisional grade publish endpoint. So data change there. And then pointing to the change log, upcoming changes, nothing big there. But I do also like to point or call out attention to the change log, which we also have out there in many of your call agendas and as we're touching base. So I'm going to pull that up real quick and talk through a couple of items on the upcoming change log reminder. So that's going to be actually page I've been using is the enforcements. We'll link this into the email newsletter as well. This will be the Instructure enforcements, deprecations, and breaking changes. On this page, good call out and reminder. Most of these dates have passed, but I do want to call attention to it looks like we've updated it, which is good. So we've actually updated this recently. Yeah, August 20th, just yesterday. Great. So smaller than it was because we've passed through a lot of these. One of them, most noteworthy from last weekend, was the classic or native Canvas integration for new quizzes. Upcoming, you'll notice the end of life. So we have portfolio end of life on December 30th. Canvas Student ePortfolio, Legacy Canvas Native ePortfolio, and then the Folio tool. Also, right before that, we have on December 19th, again, we're hitting that winter break. We have enhanced rubrics. The feature option will be removed, so this will be a default. Enhanced rubrics will be rubrics. So some updates there for you as well. All right. I want to take us back to the super session blog post coming from InstructureCon. One other area I kind of want to end with, just to stir conversation for us in the future, the new and next super session slides. This is on the top of our Canvas updates. And so again, high level topics and kind of target release dates on some of these items that are on the product roadmap. But this is super helpful. This is basically a very visual slide deck of bullet points for product roadmap, what to expect in the fall and on beyond. Canvas begins about slide number 10. Again, if you look at these as though they are bullet points, notice everything that there's a lot of features here for Canvas Core. We're talking about tiers again. If you are in conversation about moving into a higher tier, if you already are moving or have moved into a higher tier, then notice that some of these features, as we release them, will fall into or are they applied to that tier. For the most part, a lot of these are going to be core, but we also see, again, Canvas Plus, which is the middle tier, Canvas Next, the higher tier. Some of these integrations, some of these enhancements will fall into that category. You'll see where it gets applied, the new feature, and you'll also see kind of availability there on the slide as well. So along with a screenshot to give you an idea of what's coming. A couple things I want to pull out of this. We've already seen them introduced, but we'll continue to see enhancements. Canvas Next, the highest tier. For those that are on that, you'll see an introduction to AI study tools for the user. These are student tools. Notebook is available for all. That's available today as well as of last month. It's also been defaulted as of the last release last weekend. We see the portfolio enhancements that were called out at the conference. Now they're hitting the release notes in September. So those are the 7 features we reviewed on this call or this webinar. Moving down, we see the block content editor, which is another very popular feature, something very heavily anticipated. This is a redesign of the block editor that we released about 1.5 years ago. This one, starting from scratch and rebuilding based on feedback. This one has a lot of great feedback already from early adopters. We do also have early adopter programs for many of these features, but if you're interested, remember, go back to the opportunities area that we saw earlier, and that's where you're going to sign up for those. This has AI features tied to it. It's going to be available for all tiers, but we see some of the AI-powered efficiencies and data analytics and reporting available at the Canvas Plus and Canvas Next level. Early adopter program begins in September again, so if you're interested in getting involved with feedback or testing, please let us know. Accessibility analytics come with Canvas Plus and Canvas Next. Those are available as of today. So some of the tiers, some of the schools I see in higher tiers already, they do have access to that. So those have been fun to kind of pick through. Learner dropout risk prediction, additional analytics, advanced analytics coming into Ask Your Data with Ignite AI. And this is only available in Canvas Next. That's available today as well. Customizable dashboards by role. We're seeing more introduction into that. Students is currently available. We'll see more enhancements coming in the future for instructors and also dual roles. And then eventually we're going to see more conversation and a release on a redesign for Canvas, which will be optional. You can kind of see it there in the screenshot. Definitely a smoother redesign with rounded corners. It looks a little bit fresh, modernized. We'll see more talk about that as well. Something I'm looking forward to is called Ignite AI Knowledge Chats. You'll see this also coming into play in September as an early adopter program, and hopefully later in the fall you'll see this as an option for all, hopefully all tiers. I don't think it's been determined yet, but I'm hoping it's an all tier Canvas Core solution. So if you scroll down, you'll see more out here with Canvas Career and other Instructure products. Any of these slides at all, if they generate conversation or ideas, please follow up. Let me know. Happy to schedule time and discuss it, talk more about it. But yeah, it's fall start again. Just as a gentle reminder to all, appreciate your patience. I'm getting a lot of email requests for different features, answering with lots of information. Thank you for your patience. I'm working through all of those again as they come in. So it may take me a little bit of time to get back to some. We talked about escalation and urgency, so please, feel free to pull me in. Know that my response time may be delayed, but once I do respond or I'm able to get to your request, I can assign priority or urgency to it, depending on what the request is. So my last plea, last ask for all of you is I'd love to get a meeting upcoming here in the next few weeks following fall start to discuss the fall objectives that you have this year and to talk about any of these strategic initiatives, have a conversation about them. My main focus, again, is going to be in my role is going to be adoption and usage and data in your contract and making sure that you're using all the features that you have in your contract. That's my main focus. So I'm continuing to go through and audit and look, and I will have tons of questions. So our meeting formats may change just a bit to be focused more on gathering data, asking you questions, and then, of course, providing information, resources, and information back to you. So keep in touch. I will also publish in the newsletter, just a reminder on our office hours, which will be available monthly by different areas. We'll keep Florida office hours separate. We will have a separate office hours for Alabama. We're pushing towards moving to separate office hours for North Carolina, the Carolina system schools, but just all of North Carolina, putting them together as well. So, and everyone else, we'll make sure you have an office hours resource available to you in addition to the newsletters. And I'm available for you. So just schedule time with me. Looking forward to catching up. Happy fall start. Whatever I can do to help, please let us know. We are all we're all backing you up, and we're all on the same team. So another fall start, and then we'll blink, and we will be in the holiday break before you know it, and then spring starts. So let's not go. All right, take care. Thank you all for the time today. We'll talk soon.